And we're almost set to go then for the first part of qualifying here for the Berlin E-Prix. Hello everybody, welcome to qualifying. Q1 is coming up momentarily. I'm Joshua Birch. Alongside in the commentary box will be Jess Ball, having a few tech issues at the current moment as well, which is always the way. But the green light is 7 seconds away and going out in the first session. Verline, Cassidy, DaCosta, Boemi. Then we get Freins, Van Dorn, Lotterer, Sete Camera, Roland, Mortara and Muller. Green light is on. We are underway for this session, and hopefully in a few moments' time we will have Jess in the comms box with us as well. Just everything seems to be wanting to go wrong this morning as well. Honestly, every single thing is wanting to go wrong with us at some point in the commentary. Jess is supposed to be there, but as you can see, the screen is blank. So away they go then on the parade laps for the qualifying session. Now they'll do one lap at 250 kilowatts, then one lap at 300, then the full one at 350 kilowatts per hour as well. So Jess, I know you're there, but we are having a few issues, which as you can see, just got to deafen everything now as well to make sure. But Jess is in the commentary box. We'll hear from her in a second as soon as everything has started working up here in the commentary box correctly, which is always the way for things to go wrong here. So we'll go on to the battle screen. We'll go on to Jack Nichols in the commentary box.
Speed, but also it gets you out of trouble. You can then manage your own race from there. I think round here, though, as Karun was mentioning, and so was Oliver, is going to be such a high-energy race. And so from that point of view, being in the pack, I don't think is the thing that's going to take you out of a good result. But certainly, I would always prefer to start in the first 4 rows of the grid. After that, I think you're always at high risk.
Well, we've had 9 pole sitters in 9 races, and none of them have won the race. So that's the sort of weird situation you're in. As I say, we will get some laps in these first 6 minutes, but then the real crux will come at the end. You can see Eduardo Mortara really aggressively turning the wheel. Watch him here coming into this left-hander. Just full lock in order to he's kind of in, well, to warm up the tyres, basically.
Yeah, basically, that's one of the discussion points as he weaves going down the sort of slightly curved back straight, is trying to generate enough tyre temperature into the fronts, but also into the rears, oddly, as well. Normally it's one or the other, but here it's a little bit of both. And so you'll see them on the out laps, the first laps, really turning more than they need to load the front to push extra into that energy into the tyre. And then as well, a little bit of extra acceleration coming out. But then when you have done one timed lap, then you'll be into actually your push. So I think this next lap for him should be really the start of a time that we will be seeing as representative.
Nick Cassidy through the left-hander of turn 6 in the final corner of turn 10 in the Envision. Mortara looks like he's pushing here as he comes down into turn 1.
Lost the rear a little bit on entry, had to sort of open up the steering a little bit, so tyres aren't quite up to full temperature, but now he's actually pushing. This is going to be the first of the representative laps, as we said.
Mortara only 3 points on the board this season. His best qualifying came last time out in Sao Paulo, where he was 4th on the grid. Nick Cassidy following him. Cassidy has been impressive in qualifying this season as well, lying 3rd in the championship. The other thing I love about this qualifying format is you're just guaranteed shocks in the group stage, because if Cassidy doesn't make it through, you'd be surprised. If Boemi doesn't make it through, you'd be surprised. If the
Okay, well, I'm just going to test this in case it is working. Jess, can you hear me? I can hear you, right, you can hear me, but we can't hear you at the moment, so we've got a little issue with that as the cars are out on the circuit. Trust everything to go completely wrong as well, but the first time's coming on the board then as well. Cassidy's gone fastest, 1:06.593 as well. We are desperately trying to get that fixed, actually, because we've found a solution as well, so the Boffins are helping me out now in the back of the box. Let's go back to Jack.
To the top of the time list ahead of Sebastian Boemi.
Verline, here's his team radio.
Right, push lap again, push lap again.
doing another push lap. That was Kyle Wilson-Clark on the radio. Florian Modlinger on the inset there. Van Dorner's gone to the top of the times on a 1 minute 6.116. Evans jumps up into third. Buemi's done the fastest first sector. The lap times are just going to drop and drop.
Yeah, they are, because I don't think the first sector on that first real-timed lap was going to have the optimum tyre temperature and grip, so therefore they'll go a little bit quicker on the first sector. The question is, can they maintain it through the second and third sector on their second flying lap, as we see already a little bit of oversteer creeping in to the Envision car as he came around the hairpin at turn 9.
Well, hopefully, Jess should now be able to hear me. Jess, can you hear me or can I hear you?
I can hear you, but can you hear me?
Yes, I can. But a terrible echo. Okay, that might fix the problem. Jess, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, right. Well, this will have to temporarily be how it is because for some reason everything's gone wrong with the systems. But, right, qualifying is underway. This very important first part of the session where we've got to get everybody running smoothly out there. And Jess as well, what do you reckon about Berlin and Formula E? It's one of our unique tracks and it's always going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I like this one actually. It's always been a double header for the past few years. I think it started being I think it was a triple header at one point in 2020, but it's quite unique in terms of having drivers run the normal layout at some points and then running the reverse layout in some points as well. But I think it could be a track where it could have some low grip as well, so the drivers got to be aware about that as well, different times of the day or whatever. But I think this should be an interesting one, actually. Yes, because they had to get their first runs in nice and early, but now they're going to get their final runs in as well. I think if I was Mortara and Lotterer, I will be very careful because they need to get their laps in pretty quickly, because otherwise they get knocked out the duels as well. But Evans and Cassidy is on the bubble as well. I think it's going to be quite close, but Van Dorner's got very good lap time right now at the moment. 1/10 over Buemi, so those two are looking quite good.
It's getting close then as well in the first couple of sectors. As we can see, as Jess said, over a 10th up. So Cassidy ahead of Buemi. Buemi still doesn't want to race this season. Cassidy has in round 2 of the season back in Diriyah. Now flying through the back half of the track at 8-9 chicane. As everybody down as well at Envision watches on nervously as well, and the eyes become dead-eye focused. I'm surprised actually about Mortara. Just in practice we saw the Maserati second and third, and now they're struggling in the dual section even to begin with. 105.978 was round about the times we were seeing, but now we're at full power. I'm disappointed that the Maseratis are slipping back again. Oh, and a traffic jam now.
Oh, that reminds me of Monza in F1 where there's a lot of traffic in this hairpin. I have to say, this is a hairpin when people can get caught out in qualifying as well. There's not much room to get laps in, and Buemi's team radio, I didn't hear what that was.
No, neither did I. Alan McNish was talking over it, so there wasn't anything on board there. But of course, we usually, as you said earlier, Josh, we usually run this track reverse on the second day. They haven't done that this year. And now they've sort of modified the track to how they best want it. So we've got one-on-one. So it's literally just the best of one version.
Yeah, I kind of wish they would run the reverse layout again for the second race. It would have made things more interesting personally, but I can see why they've gone for the same layout both days. I'm guessing it gives people like second chances. If they haven't done well in the first day, it gives them a chance to do better in the second day as well. And improve a little bit as well, but we got people. We've got Van Dorn, Buemi, Cassidy, and Evans at the moment going to the duels, but anything can happen. Track evolution and whatever. Group B, I think, will have the best track evolution, but again, still only 4B not in the duels. I believe was it Buemi that's going again right now. We'll see if anyone's done any personal best. They're all on their final runs now, so we'll see who's improving and who's not. It's hard to tell with the live timings I've got on my screen. But checker flag is about to come out. We got DaCosta, I believe, that's coming up to the line.
Yeah, DaCosta's up there as well, closing back in. Now, fastest first sector times for Van Dorn, Cassidy, Sete Camera and Roland. They've all been going well. Bohemi's fast sector 2 as well. As the flag's out, anybody can improve. Right now, the 4 going through to the duels sees Van Dorn, Bohemi, Evans and Cassidy. Out of the last corner, this will be Van Dorn. I don't think he... Well, it's not the last corner, is it? It's the deception corner. It's turn 6 hairpin, which is identical to turn 10 hairpin as well. He's only down by 38 thousandths, but Van Dorn doesn't need to push as Cassidy goes third.
Yeah, Cassidy goes third, and Van Dorn doesn't seem to be improving much in the final sector, but maybe the improvement in the first sector may be enough to just pretty much keep him at the top of the timing. So he goes up to the line, Van Dorn, 109.9, so he lost time in that final sector. Sete Camera goes fourth, Josh.
Fantastic then. So the Neo gets through once again to the dual segment, and now the only one out there to complete a time is Lotterer. He crosses the line now, stays 7th. So Van Dorn, Bohemi, Cassidy and Sete Camera, the top 4 that progress to the duels. Then it'll be Evans, Mortara, Lotterer, Verline, Muller, DaCosta and Roland, who lose out crucially this early in the session. So a terrible hammer blow for them. And they've got to find a lot of time to come through then in the race later on. But this is a track that you do and can overtake best at.
Yeah, I have to say the biggest shock I think from that session is Mitch Evans, who I believe has won a few races this season, only in 5th and won't get to the duels. So he usually does well around this. I am very, very shocked that he's got knocked out, but I believe that was by 61 thousandths of a second he got knocked out. So Sete Camera did it when it counted, really. So I'm a bit shocked for Mitch Evans personally, and Verline as well I'm shocked about, only 8th.
Yeah, down so much as well for Pascal Verline, our championship leader. Won't even progress to the dual segment. This is going to be a fascinating race. What can Jake Dennis do, though? He's out in Group B. If he progresses, he's in P2 and could start to get up. Cassidy, too, has gone through. So the championship protagonists are better off now that Verline will not progress. Starts 8th, which by quick calculations is around about row 6 of the grid. So this is going to be absolutely epic as well. Right, usual time then for a few minutes between sessions. So we'll hand over to the world feed. Gives me just the time to have a break.
Because he looked all right. Well, DaCosta did.
Yeah, it just seems to have slipped away for whatever reason, but also on the pure one-lap pace. Some of the competition, I think, has stepped up. We saw Sete Camera just as a good example in that situation. Both the Envisions have leapfrogged up. Sebastian Bohemi was up there as well. So for a Vision right now, it is as a team looking very strong.
So Evans eliminated along with Mortara, after they looked good as well, didn't they? Mortara had looked strong all weekend, and in a few minutes time we will be getting underway with Group B. So, Mitch Evans eliminated. Let's head down to the pit lane and see what Nicky Shields is up to this afternoon.
Well, Jay Penske, that is exactly how you wanted to start off the day. Stoffel, Van Dorn, quickest of that group.
Job 1 is done now. The rest, we need to get through the rest of these challenges, but Jeb's up with another good race car. He felt very confident 300, so I expect good results here too.
What was the feedback from Stoffel on the radio during the course of that session?
Interestingly, he didn't like his second set of tires. He really struggled a little bit, didn't improve. Improved in the first sector, but didn't improve in any of the others. So we're going to definitely go back to that first set in this next set of duels.
Yeah, what is going to be the key to getting heat into the tires at this very abrasive track?
I think the key is, you got to have the right setup. You got to have the right balance. We're struggling in turn 1, 2, and 3. You can see that we were very good in the second and third sectors, but that first sector we continue to struggle. But it was great to see him at the top of the board.
All right. Well, let's hope that Jean-Eric Verne can continue with the poor performance in his group. Thanks very much, Jay Penske.
Kareem, we've got to talk about Sergio Sete Camera. Awesome one-lap pace. Yeah, I mean, brilliant for them to get into the duels here. They've done it. We saw earlier this season Dan Ticktum getting in the duels and getting quite high up the grid. We'll see what he can do. He was the only one, I think, of the heavy hitters that really improved on that final run on the second set. The other cars heading out now for the second group. But I think what we're seeing is, you know, for Penske, and this is where I think Verne is going to be interesting. Earlier on, they complained that they couldn't get the...
Right, Group B's underway. Jess, can you hear me clearer now than before? But is it too loud? Is it just right? Do you need to turn it down at all?
I think it's all right.
Fantastic. Can you hear the cars as well now?
Just a bit.
Right.
Wait, hold on. Oh, wait, hold on. I need to get your stream muted. That
right.
would help.
How's that? Because I've now put you through an iRig, which should make it a little bit easier to hear and get things. Is that any better? Maybe I shouldn't need to. Hang on, maybe I need to disconnect and reconnect. Give me a second. Right, is that any better for you, Jess, now as we get through? Oh, I'm getting feedback. I don't know about you. Oh, it's because I'm touching the mic lead. Oh, well. Okay, so getting all set then in the session. Yeah, don't know where that's coming from at all. It's like it's getting vibration. Oh, hang on a minute. I think it's getting feedback on the feedback, which is never a good thing. Right. Right, there we are. We shouldn't get that anymore. How's that, Jess? Better? Oh, Jess, can you hear me? No, not better.
Cutting off a little bit.
Yeah, not better at all, is it? Anyway, Jack
Still
taking the
finished
sabres.
down there, so he's still not through to the duel. So it doesn't matter the reason behind it. The result's exactly the same. So there was maybe a little bit more in the tank for Da Costa, but it looked like that was kind of where the pace was for Verline, but what we were able to see.
Right, so what have we got in this
Right,
group?
that didn't
We've got
work.
Jake Dennis, the second place man in the championship.
Right, well, that didn't work. We'll just have to stay with the system. That was proven in the first session. Okay, we're underway then in this part of qualifying as they attack on again. 9 minutes to go, and now on our first lap times. Sam Bird, Jess, a driver who's had a miserable season across everything. He's had highs, lows, lows, highs. But this is a track in Berlin he likes, and he's looking good as he progresses. 111, 113, but can he be a race winner in the double here this weekend?
Well, he's got a chance to win two of them as well, and if it's a chance for him to get back on the high momentum train, then that could be the case as well. But he's currently fastest at the moment, but again, obviously, track evolution, it will get better. I think we will obviously see times in the 1:09s like we were seeing earlier on as well. But Bird's got to deliver today. If he doesn't, then it's going to be, I think, difficult to adapt for the race later on as well. And Jake Dennis will be breathing down his neck if he's not careful as well. But Dennis and Bird obviously setting personal best, obviously. Bird is set... Is pink purple in Formula E? I'm not entirely sure. I can't remember.
Exactly the same as from Formula 1.
Gone. Yeah, Dennis has gone purple now in set to 2. So he's beating Bird's time.
Pushing hard and fast as they come through then. Let's see what we can do. Can Dennis progress up in towards Group B to the duels? But Bird does a 1:06.581. Dennis just behind as well. Gunther, 1:06.256. But here comes Dennis. No, he can't, but he does get through to the duels. Dennis is 3/10 down on Gunther's time, and Ticktum goes 11 thousandths as well. De Grassi ahead of Fenestras, Hughes, Rast, Verne. Well, actually, Verne goes third. So Verne improves across the line. NATO, though, last overall. As Hughes, NATO still last overall, but Hughes has passed Rast as they come across the line. NATO's going to cross the line after the second McLaren. There we go. It's a 7th place for him across the board along with Fenestras. So that's the banker times. Now they'll either come into the pit lane and do another run as Hughes gets into the 4th, and crucially, Jess kicks out Dennis. That was a poor lap from Jake.
4-2.
Yeah, it looks like it, doesn't it? I'm looking at his set times. I finally figured out how to look at set times on the timing app, luckily. I didn't know there was expand data there, but yeah, he's lost, I think, about a few tenths on his rivals. Most drivers, I think, in the duels at the moment on 23 zeros. We got Dennis that Dennis improved again. 23-1 was his first sector at the moment, but he did get purple in the middle sector, but he struggled a bit in the first and final sector, so that's where he's probably lost a bit of time. Dennis back up to 4th. There's lots of people moving up, Josh. It's Fenestraz up into 7th. I think that's it for the timing so far, unless people can surprise us.
Well, if you go on the Discord and go in the live timing section, there is a secondary data screen for Formula E, which is official data from the track. It's the same one they use. So yeah, Bird's gone quick. Only driver setting a bit different time in the first sector, however, is Sasha Fenestraz. Sam Bird and he's dropped it 23.2 first sector, 20.7, so he's 4/10 down overall on the best time as they come through. But yeah, it's a little bit better, slightly better as they come in. It's a double header this weekend, remember, for Formula E. So we've got qualifying today, race later. Tomorrow, same deal, qualifying in the morning, race in the afternoon as well. And hopefully tomorrow's qualifying will be a little bit easier as we try and figure out all these systems as well. I'll figure something out where we can get it all sorted. Maybe I'll get qualifying on a different device. That might help. I know the Fire Stick works, so I might get that down. And then we can see the same pictures. Oh, that's Hughes. Massive slide just coming out of turn 3. That McLaren has been looking unsteady all day, really.
Yep, it is. I think there could be suspension issues, maybe an issue with the setup potentially as well. But yeah, I think maybe not that much time to tweak it, really. I believe they also have a minimum pit waiting time before they can go out again anyway, so that gives them enough time to maybe sort some stuff out as well. But Gunther, I'm impressed with Gunther's lap time as well. Only 37 thousandths slower than Sam Bird at the moment. He was purple in sector 1. Jake Dennis was purple sector 2 and Sam Bird was purple sector 3, so not everybody was purple in all 3 sectors.
Okie yeah, second lap it is. First lap is not ready. It's like you've heated the surface, but the heat hasn't fully absorbed through the rubber.
Bird says it's like you've heated the surface, but the heat hasn't completely absorbed into the rubber, and he wants to go out for a second run, so he's not entirely happy. And of course, it's not a usual racing circuit we have here, is it, Jess? It's not like it's fresh tarmac as well, that's all rubbered in. We're racing on concrete. It's an old airfield as well, very old airfield. It was using the Berlin airlifts as well, so it's the original concrete tarmac, and we go racing on it. So it's the hardest possible tyres we can have. And this is really Hankook's first attempt as well to show that their tyres can do a Formula E season.
Yeah, and I have to say, this is an airport. This is an airport, an actual airport. It's a temporary circuit, so it is built, obviously, quite recently as well. It's not like a permanent race circuit like we've seen for the rest of the races this season in Formula E as well. So these drivers obviously adapting to the track conditions session after session. And airport tarmac is quite difficult for these tyres, so I think we are going to start to see the limits here right now at the end of this session, as I was starting to see more people go out as well. Hughes has got a lot of work to do, but he's going to be the last person who's come out of the pit lane. Maybe that could be helpful for him in terms of track positions, or maybe not. We've seen Sergio Camara in the first session, remember? He managed to get 4th at the bitter end of the session to knock, I think it was, can't remember, Mitch Evans out.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what Hughes could do, and maybe not the shockers out of qualifying.
Gunther's P2 at the moment, 37 thousandths off. That's one Maserati doing their job. Dennis in 4th position. He's a 10th and a half down. He needs to find some more time. Vern, too, has got himself into the title fight. He needs to find more time as well. Nato 7th, Fenestraz 8th, Rast, Friant and Degrassi moving up the order as well. But the big question that we've got to ask ourselves is, when they go through to the dual segment as well, they're going to have 1 lap times upon each other as well, segregated by 20 seconds. But the track surface, as you said earlier, Jess, it's evolving every single time we're out there. So you really want to hope that you're going second in the session. The way they're formatted, though, you will get segregated into the groups. So 2 and 3 in group 1 face each other, then then 1 and 4 face each other from the same group. So right now, Bird will face Dennis, but it's all about how you get picked on your fastest time to go into the first lane. So if Dennis is fourth, he'll go out first. If Bird's fourth, he'll go out second. So you really want to go out second to get the best of the track conditions. And that's why everyone's backing up in the last sector. They don't want to have the last one, if that made sense. I rambled there.
Yeah. They don't want to go out first in their duel because otherwise there could be an issue. But we have seen drivers in Berlin race in the past where they binned it or grazed the wall a little bit. So just because they're out first, that doesn't mean that they will be the slowest. That might have put the pressure on a little bit. So it can work both ways around this circuit. But it is very sunny in Berlin at the moment if you're not watching the pictures. Luckily, Formula E is on YouTube rather than Sky, so I can actually watch it on the YouTube pictures, which is good. So I can see the commentary from Jack Nichols in the background as well. But yeah, they're on banker laps at the moment, though, so don't be a threat for some of these drivers that they're not going purple. But there's some drivers that want to find some time early on to get into the duels. But 1 minute left.
Bird sliding. Yeah, Bird sliding coming out of turn 8 as well, and he's up as well in the middle sector. His time, if I look at the data screen, it's a 20.363, immediately beaten by Jean-Eric Verne, 20.345. So it looks like, Jess, we're going to have the bank collapse now, not in 44 seconds' time. Oh, he missed it. Bird missed his own fastest time as Tictum crosses only goes third, Jess. This is unbelievable. They're not improving in the last sector.
Yeah, they're not at all. I think the only one that is improved in the final sector was Lucas de Grassi, but he's only 9th.
Gunther crosses the line. He doesn't improve. Drops 7/10. Verne might be able to keep it. He was fast in the middle sector. Can he get into the duels? No, he too has dropped a 10th of a second. So all this promise in the first 2 sectors lost out as Jake Dennis wants to apparently wear green tinted sunglasses on his driver camera. He's currently 4th. So Dennis has progressed back up into the duels, but he's at risk of being kicked out as everyone now only has one more shot as the checkered flag is out. That's it. So who's first towards the line? It's going to be Sam Bird once again, who's in the last corner now.
Good for fastest sector 1, Josh. At the moment in P2, Sam Bird fastest sector 2, 20.343. We got a Jaguar going up to the line of Sam Bird. Could this be the time that he's looking for to get through to the duels? It should be enough for him to get through into to the duels. Tictum's crossed the line in 3rd. Rast is not through. He is out of the duels. Same as de Grassi. He won't make it either. We got Jake.
Dennis?
No. Venistraz. Okay, so Venistraz not making it either. We've got Verne's in the pits.
Wow.
Verne's in the pits, Josh. Verne is out of qualifying.
So it's only, well, Hughes then is the only one who could possibility get out as he was out across the line. It's NATO 8th. Hughes now coming across the line.
Improving.
Oh, this could be big. McLaren could get through, but kick out 2 championship protagonists across the line then. Last on the DAS, no, 6th fastest. So Dennis gets through by Verne boxing. But that's another championship contender, not in the dual segment as well here in Berlin. That was in the championship leader. Verline was 8th in the first session. Now we've got Verne 5th in this session. They're dropping like flies, Jess. It's unbelievable.
That's good for Dennis. That is good for Dennis. He's going to smile from ear to ear there.
Super first run, so that's P3.
Fantastic, fellas. Well done. That's so good. Awesome.
Dan Tictum's very happy with that, saying it's an awesome job as well. Okay, so it's in this session, Bird, Gunther, Tictum, Dennis going through. We lose Verne, who boxed on the last lap, Hughes, Rast, NATO, Fenestras, de Grassi and Friends as well as the cars come into the pit lane. Start the stopwatch because we've got around about 8 minutes until the start of the next session. So me and Jess will catch a break, and as usual with this, because it gives us time to write out all our notes as on the box, we'll pass over to the World Feed for interviews.
Certainly Verline's got a huge afternoon ahead of him to try to recover, but I would say right now, I'll wait and see what the next part of the dual stages actually delivers, because it could be quite easily that you're at the bottom end of the top 10.
Yeah, very true.
One person that's certainly not in the top 10 this time, Lucas de Grassi, having won several times round here, always been very quick round here, but just not hooked up today as he climbs out the car. And same with Jean-Eric Verne as well, 5th in the group.
9 pole sitters in the last 9 races. Will that run continue today? It certainly won't be Verne on pole position after he fails to make it through. Same is true of the two McLarens, whose pace has slipped away a little. They're still comfortably beating the Nissan team, who are their factory supplier, but not quite advancing. 6th and 7th for Hughes and Ras. There is de Grassi. You've seen that face a few times.
Yeah, just leave him for 10 minutes.
Only 10?
He's okay. Yeah, but you know, the emotion, that's the thing, is there's a lot of emotion and build-up prior to this part of qualifying especially. And then there's the sort of natural release of that emotion and frustration, disappointment, whatever it may be, if it hasn't clicked as it should have done. And especially in this championship, because, you know, it's quite easy that a small mistake will put you at the back of the grid.
Yeah.
Right, get involved, Formula E Predictor, because it gets really fun in the duels. Scan the QR code. Duels coming up in a moment.
Well, Jake Dennis started the day with one target in mind, and that was to get through to the duels. Mission completed.
Yes, very relieved. It's been a while since we've been in this position, but happy to be there. It's a very close field out there, and I think we were all holding our breath for the last half a lap. And then we obviously had the McLaren coming at the end, and we were just wondering, are we going to make it? But very happy that we got through. Now we see what we got. We know we can start no worse than 8th. And that's always been the chalkball for us. I mean, never really delivered in qualifying, and so when you start P12, P14, it's always hard to work your way through. But now we're starting closer to the front, and hopefully that makes the race a little bit easier. Let's see what we can do in the duel and see how close we can be.
Yeah, I mean, Jake was saying he's got so much confidence in the pace of the car that he's quite happy that a win is doable even if he starts from P8.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, the car was quick yesterday in conditions that were likely to be similar to the race. So let's just see what we can do. I mean, you know, Jake's on fire here. He knows he hasn't scored points for a couple of months now in a lot of races. So the main focus is to have a good race this afternoon, but let's see what qualifying will deliver for us.
Brilliant. Thanks very much, Roger Griffiths. Fingers crossed for Jake Dennis in the next stage of qualifying.
Interesting, Karun, about the times on that last session. Not much improvement in the final laps.
No, I mean, I think what we've got here, it's still relatively early in the morning. You see Sam Bird here just behind us, studying the times and watching some of the replays. But I think...
Do you want to come in, Sam? Yeah, quickly. Talk us through it.
Sorry?
Talk us through it. Talk us through it!
You're that tall, I can't.
Right, okay.
Yeah, yeah, track's actually really difficult on these Hankooks. Everybody's getting up to grips with how the tyre is behaving. It feels like it's actually low grip, but it's high grip. It's a really strange sensation. Cooler temperatures this morning than what we experienced yesterday, so warm-up, learning about the warm-up was really key, and yeah, we executed it well.
Why are a lot of people not improving on the second run or the second set?
That I don't know. I improved slightly, but I don't know why. It looked like, yeah, I think 6 out of the 8 didn't improve, so okay. I'm not sure why.
All right, well, good luck.
Yeah, off you go, Sam. There you go. Nice to see him happy and chippy.
Yeah, I mean, he's done a cracking job there. Really, really strong performance. And as the commentary guys were saying, it's a big weekend for him to get in that championship fight.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so there you go. We are ready for the first duel. The 2 Envision cars have gone out. This is going to be really exciting. Can't wait, Karun. It's going to be really interesting. Let's see what happens in quality.
Well, they haven't gone out, which is something I'm a bit surprised about, but this is how the quarterfinals will look. It'll be Cassidy, Boemi, Sette Camera, Van Dorn, Tictum, Gunther, Dennis and Bird as well for the first segment. I'm still writing up my stats from the first session on my piece of paper up here in the commentary box as well. But Jess, who do you fancy first, Cassidy or Boemi? The 2 Envisions going out together. This is going to be very tight between the 2 of them. Oh, I can't hear Jess.
Oh, that would have my mic was on.
Oh, right.
On mute, wouldn't it?
Go on then.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got my Wave XLR in front of me, and I just I tried speaking. I was on red. I was like, hang on, I need to unmute it. But yeah, I'm going to make a prediction. I think Bremy, is going to do it as well. But again, it depends who goes out first. But you never know with this track. It can bring a lot of surprises. They may not find the right grip at the moment, but I'm gonna say Bremy.
So remember, in this segment, we will see the fastest progress to the semi-final. So it's Cassidy who's gone out first, I believe. Just looking at, yeah, Cassidy's gone out first, then Sebastian Buemi. That's a very interesting run to run out as well as the green light goes on. So Buemi's effectively going to have the faster run.
Yeah, so maybe my prediction will hopefully come true at the moment, but don't forget, 20-second segment, so we won't find out for 20 seconds if the other driver does it right now, as if I just get my timings up, because for some reason my timings disappeared. There we go as well. One of two Vision Racing cars, only one can get through to the semi-finals. Who would it be? You can let us know in the chat as well who you think as well. Both the drivers are just warming their tyres, ready for quarter-final one. Don't forget, we'll see 3 more duels of the quarter-finals before we head to the semis. And the winner of quarter-final one will make their way to quarter-final 2. And I believe it's Cassidy that's going to start his lap right now. So we'll see him setting the benchmark to follow. But Bremy will have the better track conditions. But Cassidy will set the benchmark and see what he can do in the first sector.
Into turns number 1, 2 and 3 then as well. The tight hairpin followed back in as well as Buemi starts his lap time as well. And I believe we'll either go side by side. Yep, look at that. I know Formula E so well. Side by side is the action then in towards turn 1. We already saw Cassidy take the attack on it. But my, Buemi a lot smoother already and way ahead at the exit of turn 3.
Yes, he's ahead by like 7 tenths at the moment in sector 1. So Buemi is ahead by a long shot at the moment in sector 1. We'll see what Buemi could do in the middle sector. Buemi is catching to Cassidy. He's 2 tenths quicker at the moment. 20.3 in the middle sector. So that's now dropped to about 1 tenth because 1 tenth down at the moment. And checker flag's about to fall. He's catching Cassidy at the moment on Buemi's time. So side-by-side pit. It's nice to see the side-by-side pictures, by the way.
I love it.
It's great to see. Yeah, they're both going to come up to the line. Who's going to be the quickest and move on to the semi-finals of the duels? It is Buemi, I think, by 78 thousandths.
A very close lap time between the two of them. Buemi tops it and will progress to the semi-finals. He's the winner of quarterfinal A. Now we're going to have Sergio Sette Camera versus Stoffel Van Dorn. Usually I would say this is a walkover for Van Dorn, but Sette Camera has been very quick in the Neo the last couple of races. Buemi was pitch perfect on the lap. I think he had it, Jess, by turn 3. That's what they're showing us here. He was so far ahead on the accelerator. It was unbelievable.
Yeah. I think people would say Van Dorn because obviously how he did in qualifying earlier on, but I think we're starting to see, I think, look at the predictor vote as well. A lot of people are thinking Van Dorn rather than Sette Camera, but we've seen Sette Camera put it out of the bag before and put some surprises down, so we'll see. I believe it's Sette Camera that's going to go out first, or is it Van Dorn?
Van Dorn is now out on the circuit, but he wasn't registered for a few seconds as we see Sergio Sette Camera starts out. Yeah, I think he's gone out way too late because now he's joined right back. Has he gone out earlier? No, they're right about the same time now, so we just haven't picked him up. He dropped off the timing screen for a second. So Sergio Sette Camera then at turn 3 already having the faster run. He's out first. Van Dorn is out second. Van Dorn's already ahead as Sergio Sette Camera has dropped 2.5 tenths in the first sector alone. That's a big drop-off. So maybe it is a walkover for Van Dorn. The Neo not as quick as I thought it was. Oh, hang on, he's catching now.
Yeah, Sette Camera is catching on Van Dorn's time at the moment, but we'll see obviously what Van Dorn can do in the middle sector. 20.1, so he's purple in both sectors, Van Dorn. So Camera has got a lot of work to do. As we were saying earlier, if you go out second, you get the best track conditions. So Sette Camera then, not long to go, heading towards the hairpin now, as we can see. who goes fastest. Will it be Camera or will it be Van Dorn? Camera goes on the line first. 105.761 for Sete Camera. Here comes Van Dorn now up to the line. He was fast in the first session. Is he going to be past here? Yes, he is. 105.393. Fast in every sector by almost 4/10 of a second. Van Dorn is through to semi-finals.
That was controlled from the very start. So that's one pick right for each as we come through. Tictum versus Gunther. Neo versus Maserati. That is literally like trying to pick between Margaret Thatcher, Boris Johnson, Theresa May, everyone. You can't pick. You can't pick, can you?
I don't know about this one. If I was to go on like who has done well in the past, like in like who's gone out second, I would pick Gunther, but again Tictum was looking good too. I don't know. It can go either way. We've seen Gunther make mistakes before. I'm gonna go on. I like to go bold. I know Tictum's going out first, but I'm gonna go Tictum.
That is a bold strategy considering the
he's out first.
Yeah, and it's currently a 2 for 2 on out second for Robbie Van Dorn.
Yeah, but you never know. Who are you going for?
I will go for Gunther. Gunther was just on the practice times alone. He's been having it, and I don't think Tictum.
So we will get 3 for 3. But one of us will
lose
out
at
the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Tictum 29 was 23.055 in the first sector. Oh, that's so close.
1,000th between the two of them. It's a 23.054 for Gunther as Jess Tictum was a 23.055. You can't separate these two. Well, they are either equal best or equal worst cars in the field right now, depending on how the battery train likes to put it. Gunther's firing into the last corner, and it's only 35,000 between them. This is going to be such a close session. Cross the line, and, well, who's out first? Tictum does a 105.592. What can we see Gunther bring to the party as his car's on the track at the exit of the line? Here comes Gunther, Jess.
Gunther's losing time in that final sector. He was having about a few hummers in between, and Tictum's through.
First one to go out first, to get first in the session. And Neo like that. And Dan Tictum does go through.
3 for 3 for me.
That's so annoying, but I'll take it. Can we get 4? Well, we've got 8 duels to get through. So, final 4. I don't know, this is Gunther. I think, has he made a mistake? This is...
he must have made a mistake in the final sector because he was matching
yeah, he's
both the first and second.
Your voice coming through on a bit of a delay there, Jess, but it's my own fault there with the iPad, so... We didn't see the mistake. That's really bugging me. One more to go then. And they've had a head-to-head already this season. Dennis and Bird, the 2 British drivers. The predictor fan vote, 68% have voted for Bird, 32% for Dennis. They've got a lot of hope for Dennis to mess up at this point, haven't they? As he's out first with Bird second. That sounds weird coming to turn 1. Go on.
Yeah, because I think Dennis, obviously the main championship protagonists are out of qualifying, so Dennis has really got to deliver here in this first part of the session. So Dennis going through first through sector 1. Sector 1 time is 23. What's Bird then as he heads towards the sector 1 split. Right now, is he going to go faster than Dennis? Yes, he is at the moment. I haven't made a prediction for this one. It's too late for me now because they're still going. But Dennis then, what does he set? 43.3 overall, 20.141 in the middle sector. Yeah. What about Sam Bird then as he goes through the sector 2 split? Oh, Jake Dennis is catching. Jake Dennis is catching then as Sam Bird is going to head towards the final sector now. Bird's got a lot of work to do to see if he could get through to the final part of the duels. 53 was a 105.656.
656.
656. There we go. Bird up to the line. Go the test quicker. Bird is through.
That is insane at the line. Bird does a 105.595. 61,000 between. That's the closest to the duel so far today. And Bird is the last one to go through. So it's Boemi Van Dorn. And then it'll be Tictum versus Bird, the next segment as well. And this is Sam on his lap time. Well, we heard him just, didn't we, over the radio saying it felt like the tyres were heated up on the first run, but they weren't actually getting through to the rubber itself. Now it's worked out perfectly.
He still made it through, though. He was only purple in the first sector, believe it or not. Jake Dennis was pushing in the middle.
Hello, we think we are back operational with the OBS at least, but oh, hang on a minute, now the laptop's gone dead. We've had a bit of a power failure up here in the commentary box, so...
in Josh's end, not mine.
Yes, in my end, yes, and also now, yeah, look, the camera's gone off, so while we try and rectify that, we haven't got any noise from the track, so... USB accessories disabled. Unplug the accessory using too much power to re-enable YouTube devices.
Oh, bandwidth.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So I've now had to unplug the entirety of the laptop, and I'm now having to plug it back in again. So that's probably because it's been on since 5 a.m. So while we have a little bit of adjustment, don't we? You're missing absolutely no track action because we're in the lull period towards the next part of the sessions. So, thankfully, that's working. So if I turn my camera off, I'm going to have to completely shut OBS down and rejig everything. But at least we're getting ready, as you can see now, for the semi-finals. It will be Boemi out first, followed then by Van Dorn. And who's your pick there, Jess, when we get going in a few moments' time?
I'm going to say Van Dorn.
Yeah. Right, well... Right, I'm back on main viewer, and I think I have my data screen back, which is great news. Let's hear for some drivers then as well. We're just getting the playback speed to use the ×2 motion to really whiz along, and that's a brilliant feature, by the way, as well, everybody listening in on JB Motorsports, that if you're watching a YouTube live race and you want to sync up with your TV pictures, you can use the playback speed, use ×2, and it will catch up to 8 seconds behind live, which is the same as a terrestrial broadcaster. So it's a very handy tip. Yeah. Yeah, and Crofty will never mention that. Anyway, right. Okay, me and Jess will have a break. We've got a few minutes left. Let's go down to Vernon and Karoon.
We've got to mention, I will do this for the rest of the season, the Neo 333 team, because they've really turned it around, Karoon. They really have.
Yeah, they've done a super job. Great story, and we'll see how it unfolds.
Yeah, we will indeed. Right, semi-finals are up next.
They don't give us much break, do they? Thanks, guys. I mean, thumbs up there. As semi-finals are up next as well in a few seconds' time. As we know, it'll be Van Dorn out first as well. So as we're trying to come through, it looks like we have got pictures back again, which is great news. Oh, Nikki's going to save us.
So strong all weekend, but unfortunately that dual qualifying session didn't quite go to plan.
Correct, yeah. I think so far very good weekend. Good feeling in the car really from the first session. We lost a bit of balance going into qualifying, but still managed to do a good group quali. We tried something for the quarterfinal. Unfortunately, wasn't a good lap. So for sure there is some disappointment because obviously the goal was to qualify more on the front. But you know, still we know the race is much more important than qualifying. From the top 8, you can always do very strong races. This is what we have seen this year. So yes, we wanted more, but still it's a solid position for us.
Can you win from P8?
I think everything is possible from P8, yeah.
Excellent, that's what we like to hear. Thanks very much, Max Gunter.
Cheers, Nikki. And by the way, congratulations on your baby. James Barkley is with Vernon.
We were just saying it's interesting that you've got this garage and then you've got the Envision garage next door. You're doing really well so far this weekend, James. I know the semi-finals are up and coming, but just talk us through this weekend's proceedings so far.
Well, of course, here, new Gen 3 car, so everything's new this year, right? So it's really about getting to grips with, in our case, our new components, the new tyre, new Hankook tyre on this track. So, yeah, so far so good. It started well, long way to go, though. So let's see how the semi-final finishes, and obviously the key focus is obviously on the race later.
It looks like Van Dorn and Penske got great one-lap pace, but from everything you've seen, especially in Sao Paulo, it looks like you guys have an advantage with the race pace, you think?
I think we definitely did in Sao Paulo. I think we're quite measured at the moment because each race is presenting new challenges. We're all developing or learning so quickly with this new car, so definitely can't take anything for granted. We're not being complacent in any way. So a team of that quality with Stoffel's pace, you know, they are incredibly strong. So yeah, we'll just keep doing our homework, focus on things we can do, and hopefully, yeah, edge ahead here.
And with Porsche down 8th and 10th row of the grid for their qualifying, this has got to be a golden opportunity for you guys as a team. You know, I know Mitch isn't in the duels, but he's close enough to get a reasonable result. This has got to be a great opportunity for you guys.
Yeah, we said this a couple of races ago. This season we'll have snakes and ladders, right? And I think we stood in a couple of snakes early. We do need Porsche to have a few of those days, and so for sure, for the championship battle, that's going to help us them being down there. But listen, they've got great race pace. We've seen that, so I definitely don't expect them to stay there.
Halfway through this season, how much more of this car can we bleed out performance-wise?
Well, we'll definitely keep evolving, is reality. But you know, we're not talking seconds here, right? It's margins, but these margins make a massive difference when it comes to qualifying. You know, a few thousandths of a second, and it makes a difference between going through or not. So yeah, basically every marginal gain we can find is critical this year.
And it's a new car. We've got new tyres as well. Is everything doing what it says in the manual?
Yes, so far it's a different challenge in some ways, but there's also some things that are the same. So it is that all new. We saw as a positive coming in here into Berlin this weekend.
All right, good luck.
Yeah,
thank
all
you.
the best,
Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. Isn't it nice? Thank you, James. Is it nice that we've just got people who just chat? Nice having a chat. Anyway, let's go back to Jack and Alan, who will have a chat about the semis.
Okay, Vernon's really got to work on these double entendres there as well, going through. That's absolutely making me laugh. Okay, session is about to start as well for the qualifying dual semi-final. So it's a single lap again shootout, and we've had Cassidy versus Buemi. Buemi won that. Van Dorn versus Sete Cameron. Van Dorn won. Ticktum v Gunther. Ticktum won. And then Dennis v Bird. Bird won. So now the semi-finals sees Buemi versus Van Dorn and Bird versus Ticktum. The winner of these will go through to the final as well for pole position and 3 World Championship points as well. In terms of topping the stage and who got a point there, it was Sam Bird who got his first points of the day for topping the group stage. And now the first is up. It's Buemi versus Van Dorn. They've already faced each other once this season. Buemi won that, and in the predictor vote, 79% is going to be Van Dorn, just 21 for Buemi. That's a surprise to me, Jess, considering Buemi in the Envision should be the quicker car and has been the first 5 races, well, 6 races of the year.
Yeah, I'm surprised not many people have voted Buemi in the predictor vote, but potentially probably because Van Dorn was doing well. He's topped every session so far. I think that's why probably a lot of people would go for Van Dorn rather than Buemi. But yeah, Buemi's Envision racing car seems to be more hooked in to the track on some cases. But maybe as I was watching the bit of qualifying before the race, before the qualifying started, the pre-show, Van Dorn seems to be more hooked in with the car because he was with Mercedes EQ last year. Obviously, they're now moved to McLaren. He's now in Penske now. There was a few races where he didn't get used to the car, but now he uses the car. He has had a pole this season, so the car is not slow. It is quite good, but hasn't made that many semi-finals. We'll see what Van Dorn can do. I think it's going to be a tough call between Buemi and Van Dorn. I can't call it if I do say myself, but I did say Van Dorn before we went. I'm still going to stick with that though. I can't.
I love the amount of stats you just put in there as well. I know. I asked you, was it a week ago or so? About, can you be in Berlin? You fancy doing that as well? And you said you'll get all your notes in as well. Absolutely. I love how your notes work. It's amazing how you get all the information right and the research you said you do.
Yeah, well, I always do research for comms because otherwise, you can tell if I do a comms without prep, I'm absolutely rubbish. But anyway, start of the semi-final 1.
So Buemi, and he's out first, and he's actually on more lap time, so we'll keep an eye on his sector time. We've slowed his. Van Dorn is a live picture feed as well. So at the moment, Buemi's ahead, but we're approaching the first sector delta point. 34,000 spots between them at the first of the mini sectors, and Buemi's ahead by a 10th, Jess, as well, but he's already coming towards turn 10 in the last corner.
Yep, it looks like it, doesn't it? And I think Bremy, found more time in Van Dorn at the moment, but we'll see what they can do in the final half of the lap. Van Dorn's catching a little bit, but 60 thousandths of Van Dorn's found more time in the middle sector. He's actually purple in the middle sector, 20.106 for Stoffel Van Dorn compared to 20.150. There's nothing much between the two of them at the moment. Van Dorn's lost time though in the final part of the final sector. So I think this could be the second time this session that we can see the one who's gone out first that will go fastest, and it is 105.414 for Bremy, 105.524 for Van Dorn. Bremy through.
So just for the second time this year, Sebastian Buemi locks himself into position for the final duel as well. Van Dorn tried, was quick in the sectors, but lost time.
Yeah, we got him. Come on.
I have to say, Bremy, on Bremy Team Radio.
No, it was just, yeah, we got him. That's what we heard.
Is that all we heard?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now we've got Bird versus Tictum.
It's going to be very tight. Two Brits. I don't know who to call it. They've never faced each other before in the duels.
I think that could be very tight, but considering it's as well. No, I'm going to go for Sam Bird this one.
I'm going to back you on that. Tictum was third fastest in Group B. Bird was the quickest, and this is it now. They come really quickly here for the two segments of the semi-finals. There's no waiting around, and then we've got 10 minutes odd to waste before we get to the actual final. But Bird's on a lap time. Now we'll see what they are in the first mini sector towards turn one. Tictum had a faster start to the lap, 30 thousandths of a second between them as well, but Bird might be quicker. Don't tell me we split the lap times up. We haven't. Bird is quicker at turn 3, 2/10 of a second. That's massive, Jess, already before we get to the first sector. Tictum is slow through turns 1, 2 and 3, and he's catching, but Bird's up by a tenth and a half. Fastest first and second sector for Sam.
Yes, indeed. Tictum's losing all that time in the slow speed corners, it looks like, as Bird heads towards final sector. We'll see what they can do in the final split. As Sam Bird's going to go up to the line. Tictum is catching. 105.535 for Sam Bird. What could Tictum do? He got through to the semi-finals. Can he do better and get into the finals?
Fastest second sector for Tictum as well. It might not all be over. It's a tenth between them at the moment, but he might still find something across the line. I don't think he will. No, he doesn't. So Bird through with Tictum out. Well, Jess, you've got to think.
It was that first sector. It was that first sector, Josh, that failed for Tictum. If it wasn't for that first sector, Tictum would have been through because he was purple in the final sector as well.
So I think, Jess, on that, you've got 6 out of the 7 so far of the duels. You're doing better than Ed when he's on the commentary call as well. So I think you'll love that.
Pardon, what?
I said you've got 6 out of the 7 duels correct so far, which is way better than Ed when he's on the commentary calls.
And this is my first Formula E race, and I don't watch all the Formula E races, so...
Yeah, Ed really needs to up his game now, doesn't he, with this as well? If that's good, but yeah. The ERC race, by the way, is underway. Qualifying starts at 1 p.m. British Summer Time. Green flag is at 2 as well. And Tom Dillon, Nathan Richards, Omi's going to be there as well. And I'll be joining for the last 3 hours, I believe. The last 3 hours of the race, yeah. I'll be there for the 6 hours of the race. Are you going to be there, Jess? Are you joining at all? You've got work, though, haven't you, at 6? I forgot that. Oh, hang on, I can't hear Jess. I think the... Oh, hang on.
I got offered, fortunately, another later on, and I did get offered, but unfortunately I can't make it because I've got a league race later on. Obviously, we've got FE later on as well. So, yeah, and I kind of need a break in between FE and my races. So,
that is true. Yes. Well, hopefully the next race.
That is true. I need a break because I did commentary yesterday as well. So, yeah, I would need a break just after FE, but yeah.
Oh my God, this is what, it was my birthday yesterday and my brother decorated...
Happy birthday! Yeah, for yesterday.
Thank you, Jess, yeah. But my brother decorated the dining room table with loads of little confetti balloons and I've just found one in the commentary box to the bottom of my glass. So there you go. unbelievable that, oh, God, I said to him, don't put them on the table. They get everywhere and you find them. Here. We found one outside from 4 years ago and it was just out in the drive. I don't know where that got blown away from. Bird versus Boemi then. How season 1 to go into qualifying between these two as well. Very old championship rivals as well. Neither of them actually won the title that year in season 1. They went to Nelson Piquet Jr. as well in the Neo. So Neo went from being season 1 champions right down to the bottom as soon as the customer era started. 6 minutes to go then until the final. We'll hand back over to Vernon Kay.
Jake Dennis will be lining up 5th on the grid. The
I've
second
tapped
place
that
man
too
in
early.
the championship is talking to Nicky.
Let's go down to Nicky Shields.
Well, he came to the track this morning with one target in mind, to get through to the duels, and you achieved that, starting from P5. Pleased?
Yeah, very pleased. Very happy with my laps in the duels and even the group quali. There wasn't really much left in it. I didn't have much faith going into the group stage, just seeing the Porsche cars from Group 1. You know, none of them made it into the duels, so the lap was good. We made some improvements. It's a real fine line for us at the moment to get it in, but we scraped through, and then, yeah, very happy with my lap, and it was probably the best I could have done. And, yeah, we ended up P5, so probably one of the best starting positions as long as we can get through the first lap.
Exactly. What is the strategy for the start of this race in Berlin?
Definitely survive the first sort of couple of laps of just keep the front nose cone clean and not pick up any damage, and then I think sit in a tow for around about 36 laps and then try and take the lead with 2 laps to go or whatever it will be. But slipstream is huge, so I think it's gonna be a really exciting race, a lot of strategy, and hopefully we can come out on top. I have very high confidence that the team and Porsche can give me the powertrain to win this race.
Brilliant. Love to see all this confidence. Fingers crossed that all goes well and there are points on the board. Thanks very much, Jake Dennis.
All right, we've got 2 Jags going into the final. It's going to be interesting, Karun.
It is, and you know, just looking at the lap time between them, just 1200s between them in the semi-finals in terms of their pure lap time. And if you go even earlier in the quarters, it was only 200s. So they've been really evenly matched, Boemi and Bird. 2 drivers who've been in Formula E from the very first race in Beijing when I lined up alongside them there. So they know how to qualify these cars. They've just got to deliver the lap when it counts now.
All right, well, Saunders CB is with the team principal of the Envision team. Go over there, pick up their microphones. There's Matt on his way. Saunders, over to you, my friend.
Thank you very much, Vernon. Right, Sylvain, we've got to talk about what's coming up because we have a very spicy battle of the veterans with one of your drivers, Sebastian Guemi, against Sam Bird. Things are going well so far.
Yeah, it's a great day for us. In the past, we've had a tough time here on this track. We lost a championship here a few years ago, but it's redemption now. The partnership with the Jaguar is working really well. The car is really fast, and we are finding ways at the moment to make the car fast on any track. So yeah, it's a big relief to be fast here.
Well, you've got Boemi guaranteed front row, but you also got Nick in a really good position. We've seen wins from 5th and further behind, so we're in a great spot. Well, you're in a great spot.
Yeah, I think any car in the top 6, top 8 with a good race pace can win it, even from further back, really, to be honest. I think the Porsche, even further back, can still get some good points. But yeah, top 6 is a good place to be.
Love it. Well, let's see how it pans out.
So we're going to be getting underway with the final in a couple of moments' time. And it will be Sam Bird up against Sebastian Buemi. These two have fought it out over race. In fact, one of my favorite ever Formula E races, season 2, Buenos Aires. Bird won with Buemi chasing him all the way in the final couple of laps. Buemi was carving through the order after making a mistake in qualifying. Oh, what a race that was. Do you not remember it?
No, it was before my time.
Yeah,
Jack.
It wasn't before my time.
You've got an amazing memory.
I'm sorry.
No, I just remember that.
I'm turning them off. I remember that race very much. Season 2 as well, and it was one of the best Formula E races you can think of. Everything happened, so much action and drama, and Season 2 was fantastic. As we get going back up now as well. So then, Jess, who have you gone for pole position? Oh, hang on, more time. Nicky's with Dan Tincton.
Nicky Shields. It's good to see you smiling. You must be pleased.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've been smiling a lot of the year, to be honest. It's been a lot more positive than last year for a number of reasons. I think that was the most I could have done. Whereas if you look back at Riyadh, where I started 4th, I made a mistake and I felt like I probably could have had pole that day. But I feel like today this was the best I could have done. I saw Sam Bird, he did a low 5, which I think would have been difficult for me. see what we can improve for tomorrow, obviously, in qualifying. It's always frustrating because I think we've got a bit of pace in the pocket in terms of just overall straight line speed. So for me as a driver, that can be a bit frustrating knowing that we've got, maybe I don't know. But anyway, we're focused on the race for today and then try and improve what we can for the 1 lap pace in quali tomorrow.
And, you know, you've had your best result is P6 this season. Can you improve on that today?
I think it'll be tough. Overtaking's been harder this year in most tracks than expected, although here there is a number of opportunities. So, I mean, it's all going to be about efficiency. I think it'll be hard for me to stay where I am, but I'll do my best.
Fingers crossed, that's what we like to hear. Well, great to see you starting from the second row of the grid. Congratulations to Dan Ticktum at Neo 333.
What's more important is we don't actually know where position he's starting in yet, whether it's 3rd or 4th.
Is there a way to check the times from the semi-finals?
This data screen right now.
Let me, hold on. Oh, it's coming through now. So who was fastest? Van Dorn. So Van Dorn will be starting 3rd and Ticktum will be starting 4th.
Yeah. You ask and you shall receive is how Formula E like to play at the moment with this.
Exactly.
Because I really hated that. If you look at the data screen, you can all see it now on the YouTube stream as well. They take away all the other information, just put the top 2 drivers, which makes our graphics really bad at the bottom of the side of the screen with just 2 drivers at the top. But it does frustrate me because you can't work out who's who. Anyway, final time. Buemi, 34% of the predictor vote. Bird, 66. Jess, who have you gone for pole position?
I've gone for Buemi, mainly because he has the car and he's more suited to the track conditions, I think. And he's got pole before. I don't think Sam Bird has got pole before this season, so I'm going to go for Buemi, but I might be proven wrong right now. I would like to see Sam. So my prediction is I think Buemi's going to get pole. I want to see Bird get pole, just for the entertainment and the stats.
I agree with you. I think Buemi's going to get pole, and I think it'll be nice to see Sam on pole after the misery season he's had so far.
Yeah.
We're about to find out. 1 minute 30 the out lap. 1 minute 5 is the push lap, and they don't get any other. They will have to turn it up to 350 kilowatts of power immediately and just go for it. They no charging in between as well, so how much of a percentage is left in the battery? That's as much as you've got for the whole event. Sam Bird coming into turn 9 here, pin and turn 10. I'm quite disappointed we're not doing the reverse tomorrow on the track because I really like that layout. Oh, I've lost Jess.
I am.
There you are.
What? Berlin was one of the races I actually watched last season, and I loved the reverse layout. It was brilliant.
I keep losing Jess in and out on the voice chat because the internet's being funny as well. There you go. Sam Bird starts a lap time then, coming in towards turn number 1. He's on the push. 1, 2 and 3 for the first sector of the circuit as well. 20 seconds back, so here comes Buemi Jess as he approaches the line.
Yep, so we'll see Bird's sector 1 time as he goes through the sector 1 split. A 23.111 right now for Sam Bird. And the gap at the moment could fluctuate as at the moment it looks like Buemi's found more time in the first sector. We'll see once he gets to the sector 1 split what he can improve on.
Sam's drifting.
22.
Oh!
22.924. He's quicker by 1/10 of a second right now.
Yeah, Birds have... Go on, Jess.
I just realised my timing is ahead of the TV pictures, so that's annoying. That means I have to look at the TV pictures more than the timings at the moment. But,
well, Bird is 2.5 tenths down at the moment, but he's catching. He's the first one to meet the line, but only just a 1:05.742. He was making mistakes on that lap. The rear of the car was sliding out. It was 10 seconds now. Buemi's 2 is losing time. Very close action coming into the last sector. Pole position for the Berlin E-Prix Race 1 is going to go to Buemi!
By 1/10 of a second.
Amazing! 1:05.605. Bird 105, 742. That's how much the sliding on the track was causing him, Jess. But that was a great lap by Sebastian Buemi, and you get 8 out of 9 correct. That's amazing.
I don't know how I did it, to be honest, considering I only watched a few Formula E races this year.
Well, to be honest, research does its factors, so maybe we should all look at the research a bit more.
Oh, yeah. My advice to as commentators, always do your research, especially if you haven't watched many of the races this season. Even if you have watched any races this season, do your research anyway.
Always, always.
That's my tip.
Here's Buemi.
Pole position. Come on.
Oh, come on, guys! With the up! Amazing!
Well, I'm so glad that they've decided to play out the polls with not live anymore, because that would have just got us demonetised for this video with the amount of swearing from Sebastian Buemi. But very good. He was very happy with pole position as well. We'll hear from him and Nikki shortly. But Jess, going into the race, Buemi on pole, Bird alongside him on the front row of the grid. I've said that numerous times before in Formula E, and I do not know which one is going to win the race. This is completely up in the air. If you can still hear me because I've lost you on the screen. There we go. Yeah, this is completely up in the air between Bird and Buemi. Who's going to win?
It is, and I think for the last, I'm just trying to look at the stats right now to see who's got a win from pole. The only person, well, I don't think anyone has got a win from pole this season. Obviously, Lucas Di Grassi got pole in Mexico. Jake Dennis won that. Buemi and Hughes got pole in Diriyah, and Verline won both of them. Mitch Evans got pole in was it? Oh, what track's that? India? I can't.
Cape Town. It was India. Yeah. Hyderabad.
Hyderabad. That's it.
Yeah,
Mitch Evans got pole there. John Wern won that one. Cape Town. It was Venice Straz, which was a good pole, and then Village to Costa won that one. And in South Paulo on the 25th, which was quite almost a month ago, Van Dorn got pole and Mitch Evans won the race. So, and the ones who won the race come from lower down on the grid. So, I'm hoping that Van Dorn gets his first win of the season on his Bird.
Oh, are we hearing from him? No, there's no radio.
Oh, no radio. Oh,
Yeah.
no, I thought we were going to hear radio.
I thought so.
Boo.
Why is he waiting in the pit? Is he waiting to be weighed? Yeah, he's second in the run in. So.
Oh, the Ray Bridge. All
Yeah.
right.
Just a quick reminder what we've got coming up before we hear from it as well. Omi said he's going to go Bird to be different, and watch me get it wrong. Well, I didn't. You could have deleted that, Omi. We didn't see it until afterwards, but yeah. Just a quick reminder of what we've got coming up today. 12:15. Better coverage than with timing.
Allez, vas-y, poulet.
Where did that come from? No idea where that came from. Someone's found a microphone around the side of the track and started talking into it. Okay.
What the hell?
I've no idea where that came from. Okay, just a quick reminder before Nikki gets to Buemi. 12:15 British Summer Time, 1 air for coverage of Practice 2 at the Quick Fit British Touring Car Championship. With there being no TV pictures of that event for us to watch until qualifying, we have the driver track and timing screen available as well, with the radio coverage from Alan Hyde at the circuit, so where you can broadcast that. That's at 12:15. Qualifying, that's live at 3:40 as well. That'll be on our YouTube channel as well. The link to be watching along with that will be alongside as well, because they've decided this year finally for ITV to put it on YouTube, free to everyone around the world, to get more viewers into the touring cars. So great for that. Tomorrow, race 1, that's live at 11:15 British Summer Time. For the Quick Fit Touring Cars. At 2:30, you can join Tom Dillon making his touring car commentary debut. He'll be leading race 2 live as well, as I'll take it back because me and Jess are here doing Formula E. So Tom has race 2 live, and he'll be making a few appearances in the touring cars this year, doing live commentary for races I can't do. I'll step back, watch them, and come back for race 3. And as well, that's live at 5:20. So there's there for Sebastian Buemi.
Formula E. How was the lap? Because you sounded a bit frustrated at the end.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised to be on pole, because it's true that the lap was not great. I did a couple of mistakes in turn 9 and 10, the last two corners, so I was obviously was amazing to, I could hear when my engineer took the radio, everyone clapping, so obviously it's an amazing celebration, especially after what happened in Sao Paulo with my hand, you know, and this week. So I'm really happy.
Yeah, this has been a very special week. You have a 4-day-old son. Congratulations. What a way to celebrate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, it's hard to realize. It's been a tough week, tough couple of weeks between the hand and obviously the wife being pregnant. You know, you never know whether I was going to make it on time or not. So it's been a good week.
Well, huge congratulations at the start of a fantastic weekend for you. I'd now like to introduce Marco Pirelli, the CMO at Julius Baer, to present you with the pole position Berlin E-Prix 2023 Julius Baer Trophy.
16th pole in Formula E history, the most of any driver now, with a great pole lap as well. Here's the grid then, on our screen. Sebastian Buemi on pole position for the 16th time in his career. Sam Bird will be alongside him on the front row. Then we'll have Stoffel Van Dorn ahead of Dan Ticktum. Jake Dennis 5th, Nick Cassidy is 6th, Sergio Sette Camara 7th, Max Gunther is 8th, 9th for Mitch Evans. Jean-Eric Verne rounds out the top 10. Then we get Eduardo Mortari 11th, Jake Hughes is 12th, Andre Lotterer 13th, Rene Rast 14th, 15th on the board for Pascal Wehrlein, Norman Nato 16th, Nico Muller 17th, Sasha Fenestrad 18th, Antonio Feliz da Costa 19th, 20th for Lucas Agrassi, 21st Oliver Rowland, Robin Fryans right in the back in 22nd position. Okay, hoping this works. I'm not going to press the wrong button. Jess, coming to you then. We already know who's picking for a win with Van Dorn starting third on the grid. But how many safety cars do you think we'll see in this race? Berlin's a tight track and Sector 1's very, very difficult.
I think, I'm not going to say the number, but I'm going to say a lot.
Yeah, I'm hoping the race doesn't go past 3:30 because we've got to get to the touring car quali as well. But considering it starts at 2.
Yeah, I hope not either.
Yeah, it starts at 2. We've got a long time to sort that out. Okay, thank you, Jess, for joining us for qualifying. It's been very tricky, but don't worry, normal service will be resumed for the race later with TV pictures and correct headsets, and you'll be able to hear everything clearly like normal. Also, don't forget, we've had the touring car times for tomorrow, but the Formula E time is exactly the same. 9:30 tomorrow for live qualifying, 1:30 British Summer Time for the race on both days as well. So do tune us for that as well. Then, of course, next week, it's back after a month-long break, the Azerbaijan Grand Prix as well for Formula 1. That's also followed by Formula 2. We've also got that weekend an IndyCar race and a MotoGP race as well. Bit of everything. Thanks to you, Jess. My thanks to all of you at home. And this is going to be a very interesting Grand Prix. We'll see you all later for Berlin Race 1. Bye-bye.